Hello, Year 11, and welcome to our first video here for our 10th topic. Our unit is measurement, and our first exercise here is on metric units. So we're going to be dealing with things like kilograms, grams, milligrams, micrograms, tons, also meters, centimeters, millimeters, kilometers, and so on. Right, these sorts of things. They're metric units. There are other unit systems like imperial measures, things like feet and inches and miles. We don't deal with those, okay? Metric units. So let's have a look here at the notes. We measure length in the basic unit of a meter. Now, there are approximately 10 million meters from the North Pole to the equator. Approximately. There you go. So the meter is the basic one. Now, if I chop a meter up into 100 equal parts, those equal parts would be called centimeters. Centi meaning 1/100th, right? Meter chopped into 100 equal parts. If I chop a meter into 1,000 equal parts, I would have a millimeter. And you can do the maths. That means there are 10 millimeters to a centimeter. If I chop a meter into 1,000,000 parts, I get a micrometer. Yeah, with this funny little mu thing there. So, meters. And if I have 1,000 meters, we have a kilometer. 1,000,000 meters is not a terribly useful unit. We'll talk about some of those things later on. But as I said, it's about 10 million kilometers from the North Pole to the equator. It's only about 10 million meters. About 10,000 kilometers. 40,000 kilometers all the way around the world. Right? Nothing on the planet is more than 20,000 kilometers away. So 20,000 kilometers is not such a hard thing to say. We don't tend to use things like megameters, which would be 1,000,000 meters. But when we get to mass, these things do make more sense. Weirdly enough, the base unit for mass is the kilogram. That sounds like 1,000 grams. You're right, it is. Right? 1,000 grams is a kilogram. 1,000,000 grams is a ton. We don't say a megagram, we say a ton. And then, for some purposes, we say 1,000 tons is a kiloton, and 1,000,000 tons is a megaton, sometimes. If I break a gram up into 1,000 equal parts, then they would be milligrams. Okay, medications often measured in milligrams. If I chop a gram into 1,000,000 parts, I have a microgram. That's a very small amount, and some very specialist medications perhaps might be measured in micrograms, but not so much, usually milligrams. Time doesn't work on such a neat system as our meters and our grams. Time we measure in seconds, minutes, hours, days, and so on. And you're already familiar with some of the difficulties around those. Certainly there are 60 seconds in a minute, 60 minutes in an hour, which makes 3,600 seconds in an hour, and 24 hours in a day. That's fine. Once we start talking about things like months, even years. How long is a year? 365 and about a quarter. Not exactly any of those things. Okay, time's a little bit different and a little bit awkward to deal with at times. Now, there is a difference between volume and capacity, right? We're going to talk about that in another exercise. But first up, capacity, we measure in litres. So 1,000 litres is a kiloliter, and that just happens to be equal to 1 cubic metre. 1,000th of a litre is a milliliter, right? Or 1 mil, we tend to say. 1,000,000 litres is a megaliter, and that's quite a large amount. So, we need to sometimes convert between these units, and really that's all this video is about today. Now, if I go from a smaller unit to a larger unit, like say meters to kilometers, I'll need to divide so that I get a much smaller number, right? Because kilometers are big, meters are relatively small, so I'll need much fewer kilometers to match the same distance in meters. So to go to a big unit, we divide. To go to a smaller unit, we'll multiply. So here we go. Quick example. Convert 23.5 kilometers to meters. We're going to a smaller unit, so we need to multiply. Kilometers to meters is 1,000. So let's see how I go here with this thing. I think that's going to work. So I'm going to say 23.5. So we've got to go to a bigger unit, so a smaller unit, multiply, times 1,000 equals 23,500 meters. Right, yeah, that's the first one. Next up, 450 litres to kilolitres. So now the question is, am I going to a bigger or a smaller unit? I'm going to a bigger unit, so this time I'll need to divide. So here, let's just jump down underneath here. I'm going to say 450, oops, still getting used to this trackpad thing. 450 divided by 1,000. Right, we could move the decimal place 3 spots. 1, 2, 3 spots to the left, which will give us 0.45 kilolitres. Right, a bit less than half a kilolitre. Righto, and finally, here we go. 8,000. Can I pen over here? Yeah, I can. 84,000 milligrams to kilograms. Now, I'm going to a much bigger unit. So, first of all, we're going to convert it to grams, and I'll need to divide because we're going to a bigger unit, right? Divide to get a smaller number. So, here we go. Try this out. 84,000 divided by 1,000 is going to give me 84 grams. Now I've got to go from grams to kilograms, so we'll do that again. 84 divided by 1,000 equals, now I'm going to move the decimal place 3 spots, so 1, 2, I'm going to have to put a 0 in front of that 8. So I get 0.084 kilograms. And that's it. That's how we do unit conversions. You'll have to remember these a fair bit. There's a bit of a list there. You can find more in the textbook. Really, you just need to be familiar with them, I'm afraid. The main thing to remember here for this exercise is to go to a bigger unit, you need a smaller number, so you divide. To go to a smaller unit, you need a bigger number, so you multiply. That's it. Hope you enjoyed. See you next time.